Good evening. We start with Prisma, and in the background, sub-boom bass playing a bass and punches running in the background. And on top of that, Prisma, the new release is there from Prisma version 1.8, loading, WirePluck, and raw to uneven synfax. Although synfax I did not use in the presets because mostly FX sounds. And this is one of the new presets, Wire Go to X Wire, which is a combination of twice WirePluck, as you can see, and Go to X. Well, Prisma, as mentioned last week, Prisma, you can request Prisma on my products, and you can use it if you have one of the instruments of Rob Papen. So one of the instrument is needed. It makes that maybe some of the presets will not work. Of course, it will work perfectly if you have the Explorer 10 bundle, because then you can install all the instruments which are used inside Prisma. So Prisma can layer up to 4 instruments of the Rob Papen brand. And therefore, we also have the legacy installer for Explorer 10, because it also uses some plugins which we released some years ago, like the Predator 2 and the original Punch, and they still will work inside Prisma if you install the legacy installer. So then you will have all the plugins needed to create or to play these presets. And even if you have only one plugin, you yourself still can combine, for instance, twice Go to X. So Prisma, on my products, you can request it. Keep in mind that, of course, if you have 4 layers, it will use 4 instances. So, and you see here, it has a different pages. You have the FX page. Layer page is divided per layer in different pages, so you can adjust the parameters. There's a certain range of parameters. It's a keyboard layout which allows you to make split points or transpose one of the layers. Even each layer has its own EQ. So if you're stacking sounds, maybe you want to EQ it a little bit. And there's even a MIDI filter. So for instance, if you don't want to have one of the layer responding to a modulation wheel or pitch wheel, you can filter it out. So these are the layer pages. Manager, of course, is for all the preset managers, and the multi-control page is exciting because there you can select with 4 faders. You can control one of the parameters from the layer, easy edit here from the synth parameters which are selected, or you could say, okay, volume or FX. So here you see layer the fader 4 from the multi-control page has the stereo delay, and the stereo delay controls the FX send here. So if I go down, look on the left side here on the FX1 and this FX1, it goes down. So from a dry sound, well, and as mentioned, you need all the Rob Papen instruments for having all the presets working. So if you go to the manager, the new presets there are easily detected in the info section of Prisma on the download page. I already described where you will find the new presets. But what you can do is, if you go in the bank manager, you have presets. You can go, for instance, to the super pads. And super pads, you see also here that we have all kind of layers. And you see here also Bluetooth. So it's very wise to install also the legacy installer, because Bluetooth is used in this preset. But if you want to know, if you have Prisma already, and you want to know the latest presets, click on Order by Date. And then simply they will appear. So here we'll see the latest presets. Of course, at a given moment, it goes over again to the presets which were longer there. But if you play around with Prisma for a longer period, you will find them. So, for instance, there is to pad or not to pad, which is a very mellow pad sound which uses Predator 3 and bit 2. Yeah, and you can see that you can change the attack of the pad. I can make it this. Then it combines, essentially, you see from layer 1 the amp envelope attack, from layer 2 also the amp envelope attack, and here the release. So you also can add it to the Prisma preset to your own, or change the filters, or the stereo delay. And that is nice, you combine two synths together. Well, when I go back to the manager, another one is a flower plug and pad 2, which is then WirePluck combined with Blue 3. The preset has been edited, so therefore it's blank, so it's... And you see with Prisma, I very often only use 2 layers. For good sound, most of the time it's more than enough. So not necessary to have all the 4 layers active, because then maybe it's overdone, you know, overproduced. Yeah, we have wire moved pad. That one combines the... Okay, let's play another one. Wire tube pad that uses the physical modeling sound from a bit like a... Of course, I have a pretty powerful PC, an i9, so I can use it pretty much. But of course, maybe if the computer's a little bit older, yeah, yeah, it's more on the CPU because you use WirePluck and bit2 at once. What we did to save some CPU is that, for instance, if a sound like WirePluck uses reverb and bit2 uses reverb, and in this case both use delay, for instance, or reverb, you can shut down in the plugin the reverb and use the reverb inside Prisma. That saves, of course, because then you only have one reverb for the sounds. This is a WirePluck together with Blue 3, and having that's interesting to combine stuff. So because WirePluck has its own synthesis, and then you combine the synthesis of WirePluck with Blue 3. Hey, what I played sounds like an opening song for a music program or a television program or news program. Sorry for that. So yeah, you hear choir sound together with WirePluck. Isn't that cool? So that's one of the new presets. So if you need to really, again, install, if you have the Explorer bundle, hopefully you have Explorer 10, install the Explorer 10. Once you have that one activated, also install the legacy installer and then run the latest version of Prisma. Go to Prisma and do a rescan of your plugin so that everything appears. And then you have a lot of cool sounds, guys. Let me play another one. Grease Space Bell Pad. That one we created in a live stream, I think, a few weeks ago. But now, yeah, Prisma 108 is out and you can enjoy it. And this one uses 3 layers. It uses Blue 3, Bit 2, and again, Blue 3. A very nice Klangweld sound is inside of it. This one is a bit more on the CPU. Okay, everybody, welcome in the chat room. When there's a question, yeah, Johan Bertner always had a strange thing with his computer, but John could help out very much. When there is an issue, create a support ticket. Currently, I'm doing support, also because John is on holiday. So he's not behind the computer, it's not coding 0 1s, 0 1s, 1s, 0 0s. He is enjoying his annual leave, and of course, so if there's an issue, let us know in support and we look into it. So yeah, you should be able to use Prisma, but yeah, the newer sounds you of course need an Explorer 10. Yeah, Tom Aldrich last week sent a nice song which we are going to play today. But I saw it a bit too late on the mails. And last week we had another Rob Papen users who allowed me to share a song from him. So in the last live stream, you can watch that one. It has the timestamp, so we will find it. And of course, I need to mute my microphone when we play the live stream. Otherwise, you hear my tipping on the keyboard or the playing on the notes. So let's go back to, so SuperPad, we have new presets. Plug Space Pad, let me see, I'm not sure what that one was. But I think we have over 30 new presets, so there's a lot of cool stuff. And this one uses it's a nice big fat synth sound. Yeah, Plug Space Pad. Then we have new presets in the Classic Bank. Where is it? Classic Stacks. And there I also often do and here you also can use order by date. Blade to plug, that's a sound which uses Blade 2 together with WirePluck, a sound, the wave moving. So you hear moving, and you always can edit the sound. Now this is the small screen size of Blade 2. For some reason it's still, I need to make it bigger next time. So that uses Blade 2 with WirePluck. And that's cool about Prisma. You can really combine 2 different syntheses together. So that's one of the preset. Asia lead strings. That's maybe good to show you why we have in the layers the filters. So you can see here in layer 2, if you go to the MIDI filter, you can see that the pitch wheel is filtered from the pad sound. So that makes that only the WirePluck has responding to pitch bend. You see it on the left side on my webcam. Yeah, it's on the upper corner. I need to move it a little bit. You see the webcam is in. Yeah, there's my pitch bend. Yeah, you can see it now. So that's why we have this MIDI filter for each layer. Okay, let's go back to the manager. You see, I'm still on order by date, flower, plug, and ARP. Yeah, that's a nice combination of an ARP sound together with another sound, so say. So if you have WirePluck, only WirePluck, you can use Prisma because this preset has twice WirePluck. Of course, the other presets will not work because, it will load, but it will show a dimmed image, and then it will mention that you don't have the sound of it. Okay, let me see the chat room. I see Tom Aldrich. Tom Aldrich, we will play your song, the Pluck song, later in the live stream. And Johan, yeah, John will be back the 18th. But yeah, one trick, you always can drop me an email. Maybe I can help you out. One trick which always helps is, because your problem is very odd, is to uninstall the whole software, reboot, and then install and activate again. That's very often helps. But yeah, your problem, Johan, is definitely one of the special ones which are not easy and weird things sometimes on these computers. On Mac computers, what helps is if you close your music program, because what we notice is sometimes people don't, for instance, they purchase WirePluck and they run the installer and forgetting to close their music program, for instance, a Logic or Cubase, and then they try out the plugin and it doesn't work well. Well, that's logic. You always need to close your music program and run the installer. If you then reboot your computer or do a rescan, everything is okay again. But on Mac, it seems to happen pretty regularly. So let's go here. That one was the ARP combined with, and that's nice if you have this a beat here. But that's in note A. The bass is and now I've timed weird, so need to time well, of course. Yeah, that's in this bank. It's called these classic stacks, but also has then other things. Let me see if they're Brad plug pad. Yeah, that's more it has a pad, but also, oh no, that's another one. That's a plug with from, yeah, that's of course a plug de dag, which is bit 2. Plug with bit 2. Bit 2 is nice for the typical Jupiter type of pad sound. So if I play it solo, that's possible. You click here and then you play the second layer solo. Yeah, let's play in some more. Let me see. Go to X-bit to Predator. I'm not sure what that one is. If that one, no, that one doesn't use. So I'm looking for the presets that use Plug Nippon. I think I had that one. That one controls the pitch bend, I see. Okay, so our SuperPads classic stacks. Then we added some dance apps, and there I'm focusing on Raw 2, because Raw 2 is also now available to be downloaded. And then, of course, it gets a little bit edgy. So Raw 2, Edge Perky Time. See if you have a beat. So these are really edgy sounds, guys. Not everybody, it's cup of tea, as they call it. And what you also see, if you click on a preset that says loading, please wait, it needs to load in all the data. So it's a bit like a sampler where you have a lot of data which needs to be loaded in. Okay, harp run. Let's see what that one does. I think that was... And also here you can see change the sounds. No delay. Okay, this is of course special stuff. Raw 2 is such a edgy synth for the not fainted of heart. This one uses a kick from Raw 2 as an ARP. Raw 2 meeting. So these are the preset names. So and I made a special bank was only Raw 2 because it's so... Yeah, so that's new. So that new bank presets are inside the dance app, which are edgy. Then we added, that's another bank. It's the Raw to Edgy, which are all edgy lead sounds, which are good for EDM, hardcore, hardstyle stuff, I think, where you combine two leads. Together. So I will not play too much of them, but this is more for the EDM, hardstyle, hardcore producers who like to have an edgy lead. Okay, let me see. Everybody, that's pretty full in the chat room. So cool. Nice to see you all in there. Yeah, Johan, drop me an email. I think it should be possible because what you had is so strange. We never had that before, which we discussed because Johan, we always meet on eLive. And if you like electronic music and synthesizer music in general, eLive is in the Netherlands, in the neighborhood of Eindhoven, Oorschot. And I will be playing there. So maybe in October, write it down, the 18th of October. You can see me play live synthesizer music, which is my background for the ones who don't know that. Okay, so let's go further with Prisma. So the edge leads, plenty of edge leads. And then let me see where we have the other ones. Oh, I think we had most of motion picture. Yeah, motion picture also had a few new ones. So if you click here, fire up, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we have also some motion picture is essentially if you need 20 seconds for a commercial, buy the flowers of Rob in your next door shop. Then the commercial is over. So this uses Punch 2, and if you load Punch 2, it's very different. So you don't have the drums over your whole keyboard, but what it does, and that's a very clever system recreated together with Sajik, because Sajik is the main programmer of Prisma. So we have John, who codes all the instruments, and Sajik does the Mac software, and also is coding the Prisma project. Of course, he's also busy because, with Mac, the operating system changes every 30 seconds. He needs to update a lot of software to make everything keep on running. But he's also involved in Prisma. And you see here with Punch 2, Punch 2 has all the little sequences. You can select the sequences which it triggers. So it triggers now from Punch. So let's play it solo. And you hear some water things, but I could add more. And you can even make it respond on velocity. So it's very sophisticated what you can do with Prisma. So even Punch is usable. Because, normally you only have done the drum sounds as a single hit, but now it can trigger the grooves. So you can combine that together, which I did. And by the way, by clicking up here to original, it goes back, it needs to load it again, and it goes back to. And it uses Subboom Bass 2, the sequencer from Subboom Bass 2, and from WirePluck. Back to the manager, and you still hear the water going from this groove. Be Anadromos, this is another preset. Uses also again Punch 2, WirePluck, and Subboom Bass 2. Uses Subboom Bass. And what I also do when I create these presets, I very often don't use I take the presets as a starting point, but very often I change little things here so that it blends in better, change the sequencer or things like that. So this is the Subboom Bass. Oh, now it has a hanging note. Hear that? That should be. Okay. Okay, not going. Sure, I think I had a MIDI note hanging. So now go to reload, and WirePluck was used, which is this sound. Very short. And then the faders you can use to balance things between. So less drums. Maybe you want to use only this. And the drums are, by the way, the CR78. So that's one of the new presets. So let's go back. Cheese Runner. Yes, sometimes you simply need to find a name for it. So this typical WirePluck, is this Subboom Bass? I'm not sure. Yeah, very dry, time cop. And this one uses a 2/3 sequence. So if you go to the WirePluck, down here you have the arpeggiator, but if you go to the advanced page, you can adjust the arpeggiator. And here you see on the right-hand side, it's a sequence mode, and it has 2/3 speed. So it's really in triple mode type of thing. Okay. And then you got this steady. Another preset from this one. So 5 presets in motion picture. And they are combining more layers, but most of it is just hitting one note, and you get a. Picture this one in a movie. Why not? So that's really cool from Prisma by stacking things together. Okay, wire go to X wire. Let me see that one. Oh, that one I played when I started the live stream. You always can watch it back, by the way, the live stream. There is on YouTube a special section. You have videos, live stream, and shorts, and even blog, but I don't have a blog. Isn't that interesting? So that's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That were the new ones. So by clicking order by date, you have 5 new ones in the motion picture bank. And of course, I wonder now what the jungle choir is. I need to listen to it because that's a long time ago that I heard it. Hey, cool, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, you can play around the whole day with Prisma if you have everything installed. Of course, you need a little bit patience because it takes time to load in a patch depending on your computer. So looking back at the chat room, if you have a question, let me know. I'm a bit behind. Kanye West. Yeah, what? I had an email from a musician from the Kanye West band because Kanye West used a lot of the ASA 10, and they asked me if, because he uses ASA 10 all the time, if I could create a virtual ASA 10. And then, of course, I had to explain that, yeah, there are legal points to it, and it's not really my cup of tea to reproduce hardware. I would find it boring. Of course, the ASA 10, I have it back here. I created presets for it. They were very popular at that time. The ASR 10 and 11, I believe it was labeled. So, and the ASA 10 sounds fantastic. It's such a great synthesizer, sampler. And they have this kit where you can use a SD card as a hard disk. So that's very nice because at that time, 30 years ago, a hard disk was a big box with only 40 megabytes, something very expensive. CD-ROM for loading samples, but that's cool. You can use it now with this little chip. It shows you what you have in your mobile, or as a little memory stick. It's unbelievable. So I purchased this kit for my emulator 4, which is still here, and also for the ASA 10. And then you can still use it, and it loads in pretty fast, I would say. And I think maybe on one of the live streams, I even had this ASA 10 playing. Okay. Yeah, a dedicated sampler synth. I think that's pretty much as a question. Sometimes I have, Rob, you should really make a dedicated sampler synth. The point is that Native Instruments has their sampler. It's not the Comtax sampler, and that's so basic now, used by everybody. And but we have a plan working on something which is related to a sampler, but then a synth with granular stuff. So that's in the pipeline for next year. But I cannot mention too much about it. We have then next year the plan for releasing Raw Kick 2 and then also most likely this new synthesizer. But in the meantime, we enjoy, of course, what we have now. So the Explorer 10 has the Raw 2, it has the Synfax, now WirePluck. It has many new sounds inside the Explorer 10 for the Albino 3, over 800 new presets. And we have the Blue 3 Explorer X-Bank, which we did together with Gerd Arendt from Klangwelt. We produced the Explorer X-Bank for Blue 3, which is also a trade set, so you can find it also on the Blue 3 page in case you don't own the Explorer 10 bundle. So that's inside of the Explorer 10. A lot of new cool goodies. Okay, so yeah, that's about Prisma. Filter control page. I think I did most of the presets now. Maybe in SuperPad I might forget something. Yeah, there's a Raw 2 wire pad. That in the SuperPads there's a Raw 2 and a wire plug and as a pad sound. Oh no, that's the wrong synth, sorry. A bit grainy. Yeah, and by the way, in the ARP sounds, in the let me see, in the classic stacks, I did a preset which is what we did in the doing the live stream, but I gave it a new name. I think that was this one, Albino Go to XJKRP. Could that be the one? Which uses 4 layers. So this one is more heavy on the CPU. So you always, and that's cool, you always can say, okay, maybe too much, I want to shut down one of them to see if that bed fits better. Maybe only this one would work. I think this one is not active. Yeah, in this preset, essentially it's 4, but in the presets, it's not the first one which is active. Yeah. Order by date. Need to look into it. Go to X-Bit2 Predator. Is that an older one? I'm not sure. Chat Around. Chat Around was something which we did, guys, during a live stream, which was Albino 3 with Go to X. Well, of course, it's best when you have a little groove in the background, so we hear a little bit of punch. Modulation wheel. And then the okay, let me, so that's also chat from the, but there was another one. Blade to stuck, wire to steel. I'm not sure if you did play that one, wire to steel. It's not an upper. It's very MIDI. Okay, let's see the chat room. DJ found a picture on the web from Rob that he meets. Yeah, that was Jean-Michel Jarre, but that was some time ago when we released Blue 2. So that's some time ago. He was at the NAMM show, and I was demoing, and suddenly he was standing in front of me and showed his card, and then I could read Jean-Michel Jarre. Of course, I'm a big fan of his work, and I started playing synthesizer because of him. Because in 1976, when I was 12 years old, I heard Oxygen, and yeah, I was sold. So that was the love thing I found at that time. So I saw the synthesizers and the sounds that came from it. So, and the rest is, of course, now I'm playing already 45 years synthesizers. I'm getting old, guys. Yeah. Is WirePluck? Yeah, sure. Version 1. That's a good question because WirePluck and Prisma are updated. WirePluck, which is new in WirePluck, is that on the advanced page, we have here down here a small slider. So we have more slots, 12 slots. If you want to do a little bit more on the modulation, as you create your own presets. And then we have presets from Diederik and Mark Satchel are new to it. And how you can update your WirePluck is pretty easy. You go to the upper control menu, these three little lines. You go down and you say download latest. Now, when I click now, you see it pops up. You have the latest version of WirePluck. So, and if you don't have it, you can download it. And after you download it, of course, close your music program and run it, and you will have the latest version of WirePluck. But more can be expected in the future presets, and that we work on making WirePluck NKS compatible so that you also can use it on the complete control. Essentially, we did send it in to Native Instruments for checkup. Of course, it's a holiday season, might take a little bit more time, but here you see where you can go to the library, and here down here you can see we have. Or did not? Yeah, we should appear. Oh, I need to rescan it. Does not yet appear, but we have it compatible now, and will soon, hopefully, will be green light for releasing version 101 with the Native Instruments NKS support. Yeah, WirePluck, what we did is a bit different now because most of the users only tweak a little bit. So we added the most important ones on the front section. If you want to go deep, WirePluck has a lot of parameters. Then the advanced page is helping you out. We might have a feature thing that you could change your color of this page yourself, in case the screen is a little bit too overwhelming, but that's something in the future where you could have that controlling on the back panel, because this one is coded. Oops. So that will be an option. So that's WirePluck. If you click on the logo, you have the back panel, of course. And yeah, it's a very special synth. As a programmer, I do different things with it. I even managed to get, and which was also a surprise for me, while tweaking this pan flute sound, which I was surprised. I said, oh, that's nice. Which is not a sample, it's pure. Yeah, and I played it last time and mentioned that we have, of course, the top-notch reverb, and that you could play this pan flute if you increase the size and the length, that you can play this pan flute in the Himalayas. And there comes one with a big pan flute. Okay. Well, guys, for now, I hope you enjoyed the live stream, and next week we will be back. And maybe then we have more presets which you can download, because very regularly we have presets created during the live stream, and you can, after the live stream, you can download it from the info section. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are late, you always can watch it back, the live stream. Give it a thumbs up, and it's always nice if you have simply a comment below the info section. Sometimes we got some nonsense in the info section or in the comments, and that we will delete, of course. But we go out today. Oh, I can see Olo is also there. Yeah, Olo, we played your song last week, and it has a timestamp. So check out the live stream from last week, Thursday, and enjoy the music from Olo. And today we go out with another funky Tom Aldrich. And this one I already added to the Tom Aldrich page on the homepage. So if you go to my homepage, robpapen.com, you have in the top section, you can have, I think, I'm not sure about the sub-menu, but you will find Tom Aldrich demos. But now he has a demo which is called Down to the Wire by Tom Aldrich, using WirePluck, of course. So I'm going to shut down my microphone, and we will enjoy Tom. Tom, thanks for sending it in, and it's always a pleasure that you spoil us with some nice, funky music. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks, Tom, for another cool demo using WirePluck and Punch 2. Cool. See you next time, guys. Bye.